obviously this is a story that sort of permeated a lot of areas of not just American life, but sort of our global understanding of how we sort of see each other. But there's something very distinctly New York about it, and your background kind of puts you in a unique situation to kind of digest all of this. What did you bring to this, being a New Yorker, that maybe someone else might not have?
I grew up in the 70s in New York. And New York, the 70s in New York were, in a sense, defined as dangerous. And I was reminded on more than a few occasions by my parents that you're on your own when you're out there. And I think that narrative of New York, in a sense, and I didn't really realize it at the time, was sort of shaped by this story, or to the extent to which this story then permeated a definition or defining of New York. So I think that's part of it. This project began as a screenplay based on Abe Rosenthal's, for HBO, that I was writing, based on Abe Rosenthal's 38 Witnesses that Joe Berlinger was going to direct. And it was at that time that I met Bill Genovese. And nothing came of that screenplay, that project. In 2004, I reconnected with Bill when Jim Rassenberger questioned the original narrative of the New York Times, and he allowed me to document his journey.
And there's a particular balance that you strike between Bill's story and Kitty's story. Was that something that you had in mind at the outset, or was that something that you discovered as you sort of spent more time with him and got to know his side of the story?
I think, truth be told, initially, even as when I was sort of first imagining it, I almost wondered what it would be like if Kitty told her own story. In some respects, Bill becomes a surrogate for Kitty. But there's been so much fictionalizing of this story. I mean, in a sense, it's been a story that everyone but the people who actually lived it have had their hand in or on. And it was, it seemed, even at the very outset, even when I was contemplating it as a script, a better documentary than a screenplay, to let the people who had actually lived the story, either her death or her life, speak for themselves. And in a sense, that's why I ended up making this film.